What can you get for $600,000? Well, in today's video, we're talking to you about 3 cities. And if you stick around till the end, we're going to give you a bonus city that not a lot of people realize is an option that can give you great value, great bang for your buck. So we're getting after it right now.
All right, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know under the sun about our wonderful Portland metro market, make sure you click that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, do a little dance, and you will be in the know for everything happening in our market.
I'm Ann Stewart. This is Erica Hagfors. We're your go-to gals when you're thinking about making that move to the Portland area, and we pump out content every week. So if you're not a part of our community, like Erica said, hit that subscribe button. And by the way, we love the reach outs. All of our contact information is listed below. You guys are great about texting, emailing, or hitting us up on our website. We would love to connect with you if you're planning on making the move. All right. Oftentimes when you're making the move to Portland and we're talking about your budget, a lot of people are looking for budget-friendly home options, but oftentimes the location you look at is going to matter. So we thought we would do a video on what the heck do you get for $600,000 in certain cities that actually might be worth considering, because not all areas you can get a house or even like a non-fixer at $600. It's crazy, right? Like that's
wild.
Our average sales price in Portland sits right now right around that $550, $560 marker, but in a lot of areas you can't get anything for that. So where can you go in the Portland metro area? What cities or locations that you can get a good house for the value around that $600,000 price point?
Yep. All right, Ann, where you got?
All right. So the first one up is Hillsboro. Now, if
one of my favorites.
Yeah, if you're okay to live out in that area. Now, Hillsboro is a town. We've done a video or two on it. That is about 30 to 40 minutes outside of downtown Portland, assuming no major traffic.
And it can be even, that's like if you're close to the highways. It can be a little bit deeper or further because Hillsboro is very large and you could be 20 minutes to get to the highway. So
yeah, if you look at a map with Hillsboro, you're going to see it's a wide area. It's got, you know, just getting across from one side or the other to Hillsboro. But that also means that prices aren't gouging you per se. Now there's a big new construction development out in Hillsboro that we've done a video on called Reed's Crossing. So guess what you can buy around that 600 marker? You can buy new construction. Now you're not getting a big house. You're getting a fairly reasonable sized home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or you're getting a very nice expansive townhome up to that 600 marker. But keep in mind, with new construction, you're not getting a lot of yard. So I did manage to pull up some comps.
But you do have parks. I will say Reed's Crossing is a big planned community. They've got a ton of parks, lots of walking trails. I used to pop over there to take my dogs running. So
yeah, well, and that it is a nice thing. So if you if a yard isn't like super important to you, but you want to be able to walk around, that's the option. Now you can get attached homes in Hillsboro under 600,000. So like 560s all the way up to 599. So the townhome option is a great option for a lot of people that do not want to mess with a resale house. Because why is it important to buy a new construction other than because the only other option in Hillsboro is a resale house that's older, that is mildly updated. Okay, let's talk about that. So you're either getting new construction, everything's done, but you're sacrificing on the yard, or you're getting a resale house that has a larger yard and maybe a little bit more of a traditional style floor plan house.
Yeah.
But it's not got all the bells and whistles of new construction. And so we oftentimes have to ask people what's important to them. Some people, they absolutely have to have a yard and they're not willing to sacrifice. They don't care about living in a planned community and everything being brand new. You can update a house and have the big yard. So we also often tell people if it's really important for you to have a yard and a traditional style home, then find something that's older and update it over time so that you have everything you want of it, because you can't change the yard size on new construction. But there are some really good options for resale. A few options range between 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, and that price point's between like 550 to 600. 3-bedroom is the average, 2 to 2.5 bath is the average, but that's your single family starter type home or smaller footprint home. And again, you get around 1,900 to 2,000 square feet, closer to get to 600. So if you're not looking for anything above 2,000 square feet, then you can find options in Hillsboro, whether it's new construction or resale. All right, the next location is Newberg. Now, Newberg isn't in Portland Metro. It's technically in Yamhill County, but we often show people houses in Newberg because it really is right near like Sherwood, and it's a growing, booming community. You're a safe 40 minutes away from downtown Portland, give or take, especially because it gets kind of trafficky going up and down the highway
99.
system, and you're not close to like a freeway. But Newberg is a great community to consider because prices aren't completely out of control. And I love Newberg. It's a small town. It's in the heart of wine country, and it has one of my favorite restaurants that I believe is someday going to be a Michelin star, owned by a real Italian, but that's another topic for another day. But let's talk about houses. Here's the interesting thing. I pulled houses between $550,000 and $600,000 in Newberg, so single family homes. And there were only 5 options. Now, we just talked about Hillsboro, and when I pulled $550,000 to $600,000 in Hillsboro, there were 37 options. So you can kind of see the demand and the inventory that is going on for these 2 locations. Now, Newberg is a great little town, and so it's kind of the same as Hillsboro, where you can get new construction. If you get close to $600,000, we actually saw 2 amazing options: new construction, modern looking, for like $580s. That's a deal. We actually had to look twice at it because we're like, what's the catch? But new construction and really a good deal for the money. And then there's the resale homes that, very similar to Hillsboro, you're getting an older home on maybe a large lot. One had a 1/4 acre, single family, but mildly updated or needing more updates.
I think that's kind of the trend, is that you can get the new construction, but you really are doing a trade-off. So you're going to pay potentially, it's going to seem like less for more home. But if you want the yard, and I'm a big believer in the values in the land, that you're going to get less of an updated, less of a pretty home potentially, but you're getting the land. And that's huge.
And it's very similar to Hillsboro in that the average was between 1,500 to 2,000 square feet between that 550 and 600 zone. So in those 2 cities so far, they match up with, you're either going to get a resale home or, a new construction in that price point. But you can get a house under or around 600,000. And Eric and I often talk about, like, even in these 2 areas, you can kind of technically look for houses around the 500 marker.
Oh, yeah.
But you're going to see a lot more fixers, bad locations, needing a lot of stuff, or really
kind
small.
Of funky situations. Newberg actually has a lot of, they're like 3-level detached homes. They have small HOAs attached to them, but those are actually starting in the low 400s. Now they're tiny. They're 12, a little over 12.
And they're stacked and packed. It's like
stacked
1, 2, 3.
But they're close. They're walkable to some shops and some bigger restaurants and stuff like that, and really easy access to 99. But so there's options available. But I think if you're looking for that house, or if you're looking for a little bit, more traditional, but the cool thing is there's inventory.
There's inventory.
Under $600,000. And it's a cool town. Really,
and you don't have to drive way out, because sometimes with people and their budgets, depending on what they're hoping to get, sometimes you have to look really far out.
All right, so next up on what can you get for under $600,000, we've got Oregon City. Now, Oregon City is a little bit to the east, a little bit further south of, we'll say, the Portland metro area, but it's a really cool area, and you're going to start finding that you're getting a little bit more for your money than you are in, say, Newberg or Hillsboro. And that's, if you look at the homes in that $550,000 to $600,000 range, there's, probably about 13, 14 homes. Now, they do vary a little bit in condition, but you're getting some nicer homes in that, like, higher, so we'll say probably about 1,800 to 2,200 square feet. So you're getting a little bit more square footage. And then you're still getting some options in terms of updated homes, newer homes, like early 2000s. And what's cool about this is that you're still getting some slightly larger yards than what you'll find with new construction. And it's just a really nice option. Now, you can actually get homes under $500,000 in Oregon City as well. And those are going to be some older 1-levels, which are always in high demand. And you may have to go in and do some updating, and they're smaller. They're, in that like under 1,300 square feet range. But that's huge. 1-level homes come at a premium.
Yes. And if you update them over time, you're going to do really well with them.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, when it comes to Oregon City, if you think about the idea that you're just going to get a little bit more, you're a little bit further out, but you start getting a little bit more for what you're paying. Property taxes in Clackamas County generally tend to be a little bit lower as well. We love that. Yeah. And so you're going to, if you're like, I've got a family, I've got 2 kids, or, I've got a pet and I need a yard, this is a great option. You're still super close. Most of Oregon City has very quick access to Highway 205. If you need to get to the freeway system, there's a lot of highways that go north and south, and in terms of 99 and 213. So lots of great options there for transport. There is a good public mass transit out there as well. The buses go way out. And so if you're like, I need some more space and I don't want to be too far out, this is a fantastic option. You can get a lot of home under $600,000 in Oregon City. And I'm a big fan of it. You're close to the country. You get a yard.
You're about 15 minutes, give or take, depending on where you're at in Oregon City, to get down to like the 205. So if you need to commute to
it's
the
not
airport,
even 10 minutes. 10 minutes of a lot of Oregon City.
Yeah,
I mean, it's wild. I'm further out in Beaver Creek. I'm 15 minutes to get there. So really good access. And you can also get close to West Lynn because they've got a couple of bridges that will cross over the river. So if you're like, I just need to get to West Lynn real easy or get down south, lots of fantastic options for back road options. But big fan of Oregon City, what you can get. We generally encourage people to look at this option if they've got maybe a tighter budget, but they need a lot of home. Good.
So notice a pattern here. These cities that we're talking about, they're not the rule of thumb is the closer you go to Portland, the more expensive it gets or the less house you get.
Yeah.
These are getting you houses in areas in and around the Portland metro area where you're not sacrificing on doing a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 800 square feet.
You're getting two plus bathrooms and 3 to 4 bedrooms on most of these homes. So that's where we're saying you're getting not only more square footage, more bedrooms as well. So if you've got maybe a growing family or you want to have a home office and have room for a hobby or something like that, you're getting the space here in Oregon City. I always say, if you draw a circle around the city and then as you start expanding, it gets cheaper generally. And so, if you look at Hillsboro and Newberg, they're kind of on that same circular path. I also would say in the Portland metro area that the west side is always going to generally be a little bit more expensive. The east side is generally going to be a little less expensive, a little more rural.
Okay, because you stuck around, we're going to give you the bonus city, and you'll never guess what it is. So, Erica, why don't you tell us about that bonus city?
I will happily dive into our bonus city of Woodburn.
Now, before you get in shock, you're like, Woodburn, either where is it or it's so far away. Tell us about what's going on with Woodburn.
I'm a big fan of Woodburn for several reasons. Okay, so Woodburn's probably about 20 minutes south of Wilsonville on I-5. It's another community that kind of encompasses
Not in the Portland metro.
No, it's in Marion County, actually. And then it's also probably about 20-ish minutes north of Salem. So you're kind of that happy medium. We get a lot of people who maybe have one party that works in Salem or towards that area, and then one that works closer to Portland. And so this is a nice middle ground. Why do we love Woodburn so much? Because it's got the most affordable housing out there.
Yes.
And it's got the most amazing 55 or over community as well. Very reasonable. So I'll start with the Woodburn Estates real quick. It's a senior 55 or older community. Most or a lot of people who are buying in those type of communities are maybe on a fixed income, don't have a ton of cash. You're still getting single family detached homes. They're small, usually 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, some 3 bedrooms, but they're all like 1,000 square feet, plus or minus.
Sub
a lot of
400.
Minus. Yeah. Oh, sub 300. You know, you've got options, but they're sitting right, for if you want a heavily updated, larger one, you're probably in the low 300s. That's amazing.
Yeah. So for a lot of our seniors, that you can't beat the
homes.
pricing. You can't beat it.
Amazing. Okay, so now on to the rest of us who aren't wanting to buy in a 55 or can't buy in a 55 or older community. There's a ton of new construction happening in Woodburn, which has traditionally been thought of as a farming type community. There is an outlet mall down there as well that has really kind of started garnering more businesses. They're trying to, and they are successfully growing other businesses into the Woodburn area. And because it's got a ton of land, it's all formerly farmland, they've got that space to build big warehouses for some of these larger corporations and businesses. But you can get new construction over 2,000 square foot. We're talking 2,500 square feet for low 500s. Low 500s. Yeah. I mean, 600 is almost hard to get to unless you're buying somewhere like in Tequila, which is a premier golf course community of homes. It was built by a very nice builder, has homes that were built by one of our premier builders in the area back in the day. And so there's so much affordable housing. There's new construction townhomes that are being sold, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 plus square feet, less than $350. Yeah. That's insane, So if you don't have to worry about your commute, or if you're commuting maybe to Wilsonville or you're commuting to Salem, Woodburn is the star of the show.
And did you know, fun fact, Woodburn is one of the fastest growing towns in Oregon, all of Oregon. So when a lot of people ask us, like, where do I buy that's up and coming or that's, really growing? Woodburn.
Yeah,
I mean, who knew? Who knew? A few years ago, nobody had heard about it. And now it's like on the map.
It is. It's fantastic. You're so like, most of Woodburn is going to have really easy access to I-5. You've also got 99 on both sides of I-5. So really a strong contender, especially if you want a newer home that still has a yard. You can get I was just looking, there's a new one-level home that's like just under 1,700 square feet. Less than 465.
Crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Great options down there. So if you're have a tight budget, you definitely want a single family home, you have a little bit of flexibility on where you need to be in terms of your commute, definitely take a look at Woodburn.
Considering.
Yeah.
All right, that was the video on what can you get, where can you go for $600,000 and still get a great house for the money. If you have any questions about the cities we covered, or if you want to ask us any questions about for other counties or areas that we didn't cover in this video, please reach out to us. We love to get the reach outs. And of course, if you're planning to make a move, we're your gals. Reach out to us. All of our contact information is listed below, and we'll see you on the next video.
Cheers.
Bye.